Thank you all for being here today. It's that time of year where before Beth starts in with the information that she has to share, let me say it is National CTE Month. And so we are so excited about that. And this is that month that we really get to spotlight and share all of the good things that our students are doing. So we will be sharing some of that information, and Beth doesn't have a presentation for you today, but you'll be getting more of the information tomorrow in our CTE presentation. But Beth, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you so that you can share what you have.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Dr. Hargis, and good afternoon to all of our committee members. We are very pleased to bring you the Career and Technical Education updates for the State Schools Committee today. There is a handout that is in your KBE portal that I will be referring to. So in August of 2025, the Office of Career and Technical Education convened a salary work group. And the purpose of that work group was to analyze the current structure of the Office of Career and Technical Education's 156 salary schedule. So the occupation-based teachers that are employed at our ATCs and maybe even other state schools are considered a 156 employee. Now, the goal of that work group was to identify and address salary-related barriers for our schools to fill, onboard, and retain occupation-based instructors and administrative positions. It was also to consider maybe some new salary schedules for our KRS 156 employees and our occupation-based instructors and administrators. Now, it is important to note that the KBE only has authority over the KRS 156 employees, and we are very cognizant of the potential impact that revisions of our salary schedule could have on those local districts. Now, some of the issues that were identified by that work group are that our candidates will earn lower pay than that of business and industry when they come into teaching. Generally, they will earn lower pay than they did. Industry experience does not count in our current Area Technology Center salary schedule. Retirement choices kind of change for our occupation-based candidates who maybe had their 401ks and their Social Security. They won't be contributing to Social Security anymore. And we've heard some feedback that suggests that that may influence their decision to enter into education as an occupation. Currently, occupation-based teachers receive, on our schedule, higher pay than the state average in our first two tiers. It equalizes in tiers 3, but then it starts falling below in the following tiers, about the 15-year mark. And that's when we see some of our occupation-based instructors leaving the ATCs and going either back to industry or over to local school districts. There's a lack of funding to fully implement significant changes to the ATC salary schedule. And any changes that are implemented could lead to disparities between those ATC employees and local district employees and the districts that we serve. Some considerations of our work group, they said that as we talked through these different barriers that we have, they said that we should, or they recommended that we should really look at years of service and including that experience that they have in business and industry for placement on that salary schedule. Currently, we do not give credit for their business and industry experience. And when they enter into an area technology center as an educator, they come in at 0 years of experience. And the work group discussed, maybe looking at, could we give them some retirement choice? Could we let them choose to stay in Social Security and maybe not have to enter KTRS? And then another recommendation was to base that ATC salary schedule on local home district salary schedules, or the home district where the ATC is located. Look at those salary schedules and maybe base that salary schedule on the home district where the ATC is. And then looking at doing an annual step and rank increase instead of the 5-year increase, look at an annual increment increase. So the current ATC salary schedule is based on an every 5-year increment increase. So maybe looking at an annual one might help. And then increase it by a percentage point. And this wouldn't fix the variances across the state, but that was a recommendation. Another recommendation was to base the ATC salary on the highest district salary, which currently is Jefferson County, I believe. And KSB and KSD already uses the Jefferson County Public School salary schedule, but that would have a massive fiscal impact. And to look at changing the calendar days. Our calendar days for the ATCs are 190 work days for our teachers with holidays that it equates to a 202.5 calendar day as compared to many local school districts which are about 180. And maybe to look at increasing the memorandums of agreement between local districts and the ATCs to potentially increase salaries. But that could have a negative impact on local school districts, and they may not have the funds to support any increased MOAs. And then looking at partnering with business and industry to support salary supplementation. And on that handout, I'm not sure if you have it, how we determine the ATC salary schedule is we look at the state average for all salaries of all school districts. And what we have found overall when comparing our current salary schedule to the salary schedules of all the school districts is that Kentucky Tech actually ranks 50th in the state for educator salaries. When we look at rank 1, we rank at 65. At a rank 2 level, we rank 76, and at a rank 3 level, we rank 21. And if we look at the bands for educators with 0 to 4 years of service, we're about 7th in the state, so we're really good. If our educator has 5 to 9 years of experience, we're at 14th place. For 10 to 14 years experience, we're at 30th place, and 15 to 19, 56th place. But then when we get up into that 20-year mark, we fall to the 82nd salary schedule in the state. Now, during this work, we also noted that ATC teacher salaries are often higher than most districts, again, in those first 3 bands, but then we start following behind. We also recognize that industry salaries are higher than teacher salaries, and while we cannot bring our salaries up to industry scale, we do want to revise our system to recognize industry experience and implement a scale that is both attractive and sustainable. So there were 3 options that the work group said they were very interested in pursuing. The first one is to change that salary schedule again to the annual step increase instead of the current 5-year increment, because this would align that salary schedule to many other local school districts and to what is standard business and industry practice typically of having an annual increase of salary. The second option is to calculate the median average of occupations that currently align to our KBE CTE program of studies, using data from sources like the Bureau of Labor Statistics, Futurity, and KY Stats. We can use that median average as a rank 3 0 years as a starting point to build that salary schedule out. And the third option is to recognize the candidate's years of industry experience when placing them on that salary schedule, or a combination of 1, 2, or all 3 of these. Now, that salary work group is continuing to analyze viable options for future consideration. And it is important to know that this work group included representatives from local school districts, superintendents, ATCs, principals, business and industry, and KDE staff. It has met twice virtually to review these options and will continue to collaborate through a shared document to identify sustainable solutions. This work continues to demonstrate that we are all in for CTE. And has Dr. Graves joined us? She was going to give an update on our 16 KAR 2020.
She has, Beth, but if you don't mind, if I could jump in for just a moment, let me see if I can. I don't know if I can lower my hand. There we go. A couple of the things that Beth talked about, which this has been a lot of work, but it's been needed, but it's been enlightening. We did find that. And I guess in my standpoint, I always think of occupation-based instructors, and it's just, for some reason, this is where my mind goes. They're going to be older. I just always seem to think that because I think, well, they've probably completed 20 to 25 years of their careers before they come into teaching. And that's not the case. But a couple of the things that we found, I think there's like 3, and she's talking about the bands or the tiers. And of course, that's jumping from, the 0 to 5 or 0 to 4 years of service, 5 to 9, 10 to 14. And sadly, we found there are 3, Beth, that when you move from one tier to another, It's a 1% increase.
Yeah.
So keep in mind, that's not 1% a year. That is 1% increase spread over 5 years, which, I mean, I think all of us would be insulted if we worked 5 years and they tell us we're going to get a raise for our dedication and service and we get what, 0.2, percent. It's just, we know that we've got some work to do. And so in my mind too, well, this ought to be easy. Let's just align all of these to business and industry. That makes sense, right? But a couple of the things that we got into trouble with was when you think about nurses, and we may have even mentioned this before, but you can't just say, what is the average salary of a registered nurse in Kentucky? Where does that registered nurse work? Are they in a health department? Are they in a hospital? Are they, there's different skill levels there and different things, different shift differentials. So we realized quickly, and in the beginning, you can't just do this. You can't just average it. And of course, being the naysayers, we can't do that. It's just, we can't base it on business and industry. It's too difficult. There's no way to do it. And we were very blessed to find that Futurity, KY Stats did have some information where we could take that median salary, which is a little bit more indicative of where we need to be as opposed to the average. And so a lot of work has been done to this. And it's one of the situations as well where the more you look, the more you find. And in this case, the more we looked and the more questions we answered, more arose. So, my special thanks to our team for working on this and for putting it together. And we do know this is low. We have got to redo this. It's just a matter of how. And of course, that's going to require us to go back to the legislature and the next biennium to say, we've got to have money for, if we're going to do this for our 161 salaries, then we're going to have more money. And I think they're aware of that, the ones that we've talked to, and they said it's got to be fixed. So, bring us a plan. So we will be doing that over the next 2 years. And we hope to be able to find something that will, please everyone. But there's so many different things. So any input that you've got or any thoughts, again, we've probably we think we thought of everything and we've marked off the majority of them because it won't work. But we are certainly open to anything that you can dream of that might be something, or, a hole for us to go down. So thank you. And Beth, I'll turn it back over to you.
Well, thank you, Dr. Hargis. Yes, Chair Robinson.
You got a question?
Yeah, I want to commend you for looking at this as outside the box, or let's just say from several perspectives that are important. And it is clear that we're going to have to let go of some of the conventions or conveniences or tools that we have developed over time for an economy that is now very different. We are in competition for talent. We need talent that might range across a broad spectrum of the capacity in several different industries. And we need to meet the needs of those workers, the economic, financial needs of these teachers, these instructors, in a way that will allow them to take pride in the decision to be an instructor, a teacher, rather than feel as though after the romance wears off and the hard work, it's just the slog of it, the work of it, and take pride in both what they know and being able to share what they know within the education enterprise. I mean, those are important dimensions that must be met for every worker to be fulfilled, no matter where they're working. And so I commend you for taking this on. Let's continue to work with these folks to craft a proposal that says We know what you know, we know we need what you know, and we know we're going to have to compete in the labor market for the privilege of having you share what you know in this effort. So, I'm happy to join you as an advocate in this respect.
Oh, well, thank you. We are happy to have you join us. And thank you for those comments and that feedback, Chair Robinson.
Dr. Robinson, you made a comment there that stood out. One of the things, we've got superintendents and principals on this committee with us. And I thought that they would be a little bit resistant to us changing this because this is the 156 schedule. It's not going to apply to their career and tech ed teachers. It's simply for the ones in the ATCs. And every one of them have fully supported it and said, listen, we have problems in our districts with this. So we're anxious to help you. We're excited about it. We want to see you get this fixed. And then so that more local districts can take this on. So that was huge. So I appreciate your feedback.
Well, and I just want to say, if we're going to provide our students with a vibrant learning experience, no matter the environment for that is required for that experience, then we've got to be ready and to support the economic needs of the folks who work in that environment. So, I mean, we can no longer fall back on the one-size-fits-all tools that had been introduced in order to drive out unwarranted ambiguity and all kinds of variances that could not be justified. But we can justify it on labor market conditions and the actual skill and so forth. When you get into the right disciplines, and I said disciplines plural, for this work, I think we'll end up with a proposal that can be really very helpful. I think.
Anybody else have any other comments they would like to make?
I think Corey has his hand up.
This is not relevant to the topic at hand. I'd just like to rewind just a little bit and ask for a call to order and a roll call to make sure that we have a quorum to commit to the subcommittee meeting today. I think we skipped past that at the outset.
Yeah, I think, I had trouble getting on and connecting when I came in.
Sure.
We were already in meeting, so we'll go. I went ahead and marked everybody's attendance, but we'll go back and make it official there that we started the meeting. Do you have an official time there, Corey, when we started?
I believe we started about 1:47.
Okay, so we'll make it official that call to order. We started at 1:47. We'll make note on our chair notes that we started the meeting at that particular time. But everybody that's on the, well, I'll take the roll call. Myself present. Harold, can you say present? Harold was on here before. I saw his face. Harold, can you say present?
I'm sorry, Harold McKinney. I had my mic turned off. Harold McKinney, present.
Yeah. Okay, Sharon, present.
Present.
Steve Trimble.
Steve Trimble, present.
Alfonso.
Present.
And Commissioner Link.
Jamie Link, present.
Okay, so we reviewed the item. So now that with no other additional comments are needed, we will have a motion to close out the meeting. And it'll be by voice vote. So do I have a motion to close the meeting?
Excuse me, Dr. Poe.
Yes.
May I give an update on the 16 KAR 2020?
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
That's
I had
okay.
that down here. I guess I was figuring. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll be brief on it. Just wanted to provide an update on the occupation-based teacher certification regulation that includes amendments to it that was taken. This is actually under the Education Professional Standards Board, and it was taken to them for approval in September. And then it went to ours, the Administrative Regulation Review Subcommittee, December 8th, and it has now been referred to the Subject Matter Committee. But just to let you all know what what really the main amendment is, other than just the clarifications that were needed within that regulation, is in section 5, where it removes the requirement of an associate's degree for individuals that are seeking HVAC, electricity, or plumbing certification if they hold a Kentucky issued master license in the appropriate area. So that's a relatively big change here. So we're eager to see how that looks for us moving forward. That originated from a meeting with a legislator last session. He asked us to look into that. And so this is the result of that discussion. And so happy to take any questions you all may have on the amendment. Like I said, it's still moving through the regulatory process. So as it stands right now, it is not in effect.
Yeah, basically the question that I had and I was going to ask, but jump to the thing there, was that, so the process, it's just following through the process. So it's not been shifted or sidelined in the regulatory process, but we're moving on schedule. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Anybody have any questions on the 16 KAR? I think I'll just make a statement. I mean, it's a great recommendation, and I know the industry and trade groups up here are ecstatic about that. So just continue that great work. And if you need anybody to speak on behalf of it as it goes through, I have plenty of people up this way that would speak on that. So
Thank you.
okay. Having no other questions, do I now have a motion to adjourn?
Steve Trimble, I'll make that motion.
Okay, I got the motion by Steve, a second.
Harold McKinney, I second.
Harold, second. Voice vote, for adjourn, please say A.
Aye. Aye.
Okay. Nays? Okay, the ayes have it. So we are officially adjourned at, let's see, a computer time here, 2:11.